Good weekend for us out in California. I think our guys played probably as well as we've played all year long in all three phases, really. I think we pitched well. We swung the bats well, extremely well, and played outstanding defense. I think we made one error in 3 games out there. Scored, I believe, 22 runs and had 42 hits in 3 games, and once again pitched it very well. So all in all, it was a good weekend. We had good weather, and that may have, helped us a little bit with the offensively. Get a chance to break out. I think what we were most pleased with, though, is I think we showed some signs of making some adjustments finally. From one game to the next, even from one inning to the next, and even one, during the at-bat with a lot of guys starting to make some adjustments, starting to feel a little bit more comfortable at the plate, and it really showed. We hit the ball all over the park. We hit a couple of home runs. We hit some doubles, and really, again, we were more threatening offensively than we have been all year long. So, very good weekend, and we got Oakland coming up this weekend. Oakland's a team that always plays hard. John Masaccio is a former assistant coach here at Michigan State and does a great job with that team. And they've had a tough schedule early on, especially. And so, they're going to be ready to play. There are a lot of local guys, a lot of Michigan kids on that team, and our guys are very familiar with them, and vice versa. And so, we know we're going to get their best effort. And like I said, John always has those guys playing hard. So, weather permitting, we'll see what happens with the weather and the field and things of that nature. But looking forward to getting back into the state and hopefully playing at home this weekend. So, questions?
You talked, I think it was last week or the week before, about the hitters and their approach, not necessarily aggressive, just trying to put the ball in play. Did you see that change this weekend?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of young guys that are starting to buy in a little bit more, which is good to see. And I think they're starting to see some of the fruits of their labor, so to speak. I think coming in, especially with young guys. Everybody's been telling them how good they've been for a long, long time, even from the time they're 8 years old. And so it's tough to make those adjustments and to get them to understand that this is a different level. In order to be successful at this level, there are a lot of guys that need to do things differently than they did in high school. And I think some of those guys are really starting to buy into that and understanding the game a little bit more, how we're being pitched and, locations and counts and, where the breaking balls are being thrown and things like that. We've tried to self-scout ourselves a little bit, as well, and try to give our guys a little bit of a scouting report on themselves so they can understand why this is happening. And why a kid maybe hits a line drive right at the left fielder, and why is the left fielder playing there? Well, the scouting report is out. And so I think we're starting to learn more a little bit about the game, and I think that's translating into the work ethic and guys understanding what they need to do to be successful, and then in turn it's starting to happen on the field, or at least it did last weekend. So hopefully we can kind of use that as a springboard to some further success. Yeah, Blaze was a kid last year that really only played against left-handed pitchers, and was a kid that really had a hard time last year with the right-handed breaking ball, and he's come a long way, and he's really turned into our kind of our everyday DH right now. He caught 2 games out there. Joel Fisher was under the weather a little bit this weekend, and so Blaze did a nice job behind the plate as well. But kind of he's starting to understand a little bit more about his game and what it's going to take for him to be successful. And he's starting to understand, how pitchers, again, we're getting him out, and so it's been a fun one to watch. And Ryan Krill has been so close for a while now. And really, I think, took another step forward last weekend. And he's trying to change the swing plane a little bit, and not, so that he's not such, he's a big, strong guy, and he hits a lot of singles for us. And if you're big and strong and you have a capability to hit doubles and you don't run very well, singles aren't going to help us a whole lot, And so he's starting to understand a little bit more about what it's going to take to hit the ball in the gap and really drive the baseball. And so again, both those guys, very good weekends. Hopefully that continues.
Jake, how much work needs to be done to get the field ready?
Well, it's going to start with God, probably, and we need some warmer weather. We need the sun to come out, and there's a lot of frost, I think, underneath that field still. So, I think the softball field's probably closer to being ready than ours is, just because of the size of their field and things like that. But I don't know. I haven't been out there yet today. I talked to our grounds people, who are the best in the business, and we're going to take a wait and see approach. But problem with our field, or any baseball field right now especially, it may look good, but when the sun comes out, the field turns to mud in a hurry until all that frost gets out of there. So that's what we're fighting right now. We won't know for sure probably till Wednesday or Thursday.
What do you like most about your team after 16 games?
Well, again, we've got great kids. I think they're fun to be around. They compete. There's some. We're running out a lot of young guys that are learning, I think, more and more every day when they play. And so, those three things combined, I think, makes it a fun ball club to be around. I think there's some talent out there that it's going to be exciting to watch how much better we can continue to get as the season rolls on. We played 16 games. We got 40 more to go. And so, the sky's the limit, I think, for a lot of these guys. Guys like, Cam Gibson, I think, really had a good weekend for us and really started to turn a corner, hopefully offensively there. But just watching them grow, watching them understand the game, and there's a lot of things in our game that they gotta, they kind of have to figure it out for themselves, and the only way to do that is to play.
Cam and lead off. Is that kind of where you envision him, or in the middle?
Well, he runs so well that he can be a difference maker, whether he goes 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. He seems to find his way on base, and when he's on base, he makes things happen. And so he's got, I think, for a freshman, an advanced knowledge of the strike zone, where he doesn't really chase many bad pitches. He did a couple on a couple last weekend, but I think overall he's got a pretty good understanding of where the ball's located and what's a strike and what's not a strike, and he's able to get deep into counts. And again, when he makes contact, he's always a threat because he runs so well.
Kind of allows you to do some forehand things with check too, right?
Yeah, it does. Tony's a kid that's extremely aggressive, which is, great. I like that. He hasn't walked a whole lot, and for a leadoff hitter, we need that guy to be on base. And, Cam's on base percentage is very good. Now, where, it all fits together this weekend too, we'll see. I mean, we've had the luxury of being a little bit deeper now, and when a guy goes down or gets hurt or is sick like Joel was last weekend, we can kind of plug it in there and plug him in there, or one of the two. And so when everybody's healthy, we'll see how it all shakes out. But again, it gives us some depth. It gives us some opportunities to do some things at the end of the game, with a pinch hitter or pinch runner that maybe we haven't had for a while.